This next one's super cool and also includes Dynamesh. So let's go ahead and grab a sphere 3D, drag it onto my canvas, go into edit mode, make polymesh 3D, and we'll choose matcap gray. Now if I turn on polyframe here, you're gonna see it's just a regular old sphere here. So if I take my standard brush, I can just go ahead and sculpt on it. Let's go ahead and turn this into a Dynamesh. If you want more information on Dynamesh, go to my Intro to ZBrush Part 1 series. That'll walk you through Dynamesh. But for now, I'm gonna open up the geometry menu here. We're gonna go to the Dynamesh sub menu. And let's go ahead and hit that button. What that's going to do is obviously change this into a Dynamesh. So of course, if I go through here with say my move brush and kind of move this out, I can control drag, re-Dynamesh, and it'll just reevaluate my mesh. And now I can go ahead and get nice even quads as I continue to work. So it's going to undo that. Another function that you can use with Dynamesh is this groups option. So if I have different groups in here, so if I hold down control and I just mask out an area and hit control W, what that's going to do is group mask, clear mask, and that's under your polygroup menu. And the shortcut key for that again is Control W. If you have nothing masked and you hit Control W, that'll just mask your entire object. But let's go ahead and keep this. So now if we turn groups on and Control drag, what that's going to do is Dynamesh this as one complete group and Dynamesh this as one complete group. So one really useful function of this, if we undo back, is in conjunction with the slice tool. So I'm going to hit Control W to make this all one polygroup again. I'm going to turn on groups. I'm going to hold down Control Shift, go over here to slice curve. And now with slice curve, what I can do is I can just slice through my mesh here. Now with groups turned on, when I control drag, I can do control shift, and now I have one complete solid object. What R7 used to do is go ahead and make a new polygroup for each individual side. What that ended up doing is if I had groups turned on and those were polygroups and control dragged again, it would give me those wafer thin meshes on either side of these things. So I'd have to, it was a few more steps. I'd have to, grab a little piece of this with select rectangle, do Control Shift A, Control W to make it all one polygroup, etc., etc. Now all I have to do, let's go back to hold down Control Shift slice curve. We'll just slice right through the middle of this. Groups is selected, Control drag, and now if I do Control Shift, go back to select rectangle, we can just grab this whole piece here. And now these are all individual pieces. So now you can do very, very precise cuts through your Dynamesh very, very quickly with that groups option. Of course, you can continue to just sculpt through this. So now that these are all separate polygroups, if we grab our move brush here, we go into the auto masking, we can change mask by polygroups up to 100. So now when I use the move brush, I can just move this around. And whichever polygroup you select first, you can just move. If you hit W and go into gizmo mode, and then hold down Alt to just, and another thing I maybe I've forgotten to mention in gizmo, if you hold down Alt and then Shift drag off, that'll just constrain this to a straight line. And of course with the gizmo, if you hold down Control and tap, that'll go ahead and unmask just that one polygroup. So now you go ahead and move this around. If you hit Q to go back into draw mode, Control drag to unmask everything. Let's go ahead and isolate these things out. If you want to do it one by one, I'll open my subtool menu here. If I hold down Control Shift with select rectangle, tap any one of these, now I can do a split hidden, and now this thing is a separate mesh. So let's go ahead and hold down Alt with the gizmo. We'll go ahead and reset that to the rolled axis. We'll go ahead and go to Unmask Mesh Center, and now I can just pull this straight out of my object here. If I Alt tap this subtool, we go ahead and select that one, so we don't even have to touch it over here in the subtool menu. So again, Alt tap just to go between these two. And if I want to split all of these things up, all I got to do is go down here to split. I can either do group split because these are all one contiguous group here, or I can go split the parts, which is going to be all of these unwelded points are going to split to their own parts. So let's just do that. Let's go to split to parts. And every single one of these pieces is now going to be their own subtool. So let's say we didn't want this piece at all. Just go ahead and delete that. Let's say we didn't want these end caps at all either. So we'll Alt tap this one, delete, and say always OK. Alt tap this one, delete. And let's say we want to merge all of these together to go ahead and Dynamesh them back together and make them all one shape. All we need to do is you can go to this top one here and you can just hit merge down a bunch of times. You can also do merge visible, but that's going to make it into a new subtool, new tool out here. So I'm just going to keep them all together. And now when I go to Dynamesh, I'm going to turn groups off, turn off our polyframe, control drag, and now with groups off, they're all going to be Dynameshed together. You'll still retain your polygroups, but now you can turn this into one solid mesh. If your Dynamesh was a higher resolution, you probably wouldn't even notice these lines, but they're really quick to clean up if you need to on a lower resolution mesh as well.